Good morning and welcome. My name's Latricia. For anybody who is new, this is my Let's Direct Our Own Path page where we do talk about self-sabotage and ways and how to prevent them. Again, my name's Latricia. I'm an advocate for change. I'm also a life coach as well as a mentor. So if you are interested, please feel free to check out other videos, even videos on my other page, as well as my description listed below where you could get in contact with me if you desire. Today, what I wanted to talk about is just feelings versus reactions. Um, when you get to a certain point in life, people think you are going to have to stop having pain, and that is not true at all. You do not stop having pain. You do not stop processing your pain. However, you do learn how to become your pain. What do I mean by that? I mean, the thing that hurt you, you learn to accept it. You learn to internalize those feelings, that rage, that anger, and you find out what that actually pulled out of you. Because whenever you're having anger, um, you're upset, you're frustrated, all of that is meant to fuel a fire that's within you. And that's just for you to have that catalyst for a change. Most times, if you're like me, you wanted to resist it. I resisted it for so long that I just end up having so many different self sabotaging ways before I actually accepted this hurts. This hurts me. And when I realized something hurt me, I actually had to take a stance. Either I'm going to keep allowing this hurt to hurt me, or I'm going to choose another path, which is going to allow me to heal and accept the hurt, is what I mean by that. And so, one of the different things is actually um, stepping into your feelings. That is a sensation. A feeling is a sensation that you get, a rage that you get. It is an emotion that you get. That is what a feeling is. Your reaction is what you're going to do with it. That reaction is when you get that feeling, what are you going to do with it? Oftentimes we don't think through the process and we do so much more reacting because of fear, because of our anxiety, because of our low self-esteem, that we black out everything else because that no longer makes any sense to us, right? Well, I just want you to really take a second and ask yourself, what are you protecting yourself from? When the next time you are having these feelings and you want to get reactive, or you're not sure if you're reacting because of a feeling, ask yourself, what are you protecting yourself from? And don't trust this. Do you ask yourself, don't trust this? Maybe it feels too good to be true, or I don't trust this because nothing ever works out for me and something's working out for me. Or do you always have this feeling if something good is happening to you, do you feel like, oh my God, something bad is about to happen? Nothing ever just works out. Do you be in relationships? Do you check out before you feel pain or before you feel like this person will hurt you? Do you run? Are you a runner? Sometimes we have to really sit down and dive into these questions and ask ourselves, because we could spend a life running. I spent a lot of my life running and I thought I was a fighter, to be honest. And I had so many different aspects of myself where I was a fighter. However, I failed to fight for my inner being, my true calling. I denied that access the moment I denied the pain to stay, and I diminish who I am. So many times we get into these different relationships and excuse me, and re-shrink ourselves, thinking that it will keep the other person. And indeed, you just showed them that you're okay with being a punching bag, you know? Um, and I want you to know, when you take your stance, when you realize these feelings versus reactions, you also have another piece that ties into this that I learned. That I learned does sneak up, and that's your ego. Okay. Um, because sometimes your ego will let you know this person did this. I can hurt you. You hurted me. Your ego would say, you know what? I'm better than this person. I know this and I can do certain things. And I just want to tell you in life, sometimes you just cannot. And you got to know sometimes even if you're right, you're not always right. It might be right, but it might be the wrong time to be right. For example, I know right now when I have people who backlash, and because my grandmother just passed away, I could really, really, really step out and expose things. But even though I'm right, would I be in the right? Sometimes it's knowing when to humble yourself, to be quiet, even if you know what you know is right. And I'm not saying to shrink or not be emotional. What I'm saying is sometimes you have to know when you got to take your feelings out of things so that you don't become reactive, because it's easy to do. So sometimes it's just slowing down and actually looking at the bigger picture without overwhelming yourself, without you having to throw in your extra value to say, hey, this is what it is. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, when I'm having all of these emotions, or if I'm having all of this different anxiety, what did this do to me? What is this anxiety doing to me? Is my heart pacing fast? Is my breathing changing? Am I frantic? When you get excited like this, when you get these different, what is it doing to you? When you get joy, let's switch it up, because not everything is about negativity, but even when you feel joy, like what do you feel? What runs through your body? These are things that you have to ask yourself. When you are so happy, are you more generous? Are you more caring? Because we got to actually find a steady balance within this dynamic of life. It's one of the biggest things I teach people. Sometimes when I'm walking into the house, I realized, sometimes my clients are really happy. Other times my clients could be not so happy, and when you're the driving force, sometimes your attitude, your feelings can set the tempo. Because if you walk in a room with a bad attitude, with a bad day, what do you think you're doing for that next person? You're setting the tempo for them. Not everybody's going to have a bad day and a bad attitude until somebody realizes, I don't need to react to how you feel. Yeah. So, to make a long story short, I want to just say, when you have unprocessed emotions, that becomes dangerous. When you hold on to these different traumas, these different feelings that you're having, there's so many studies out there that you can look at that shows that it actually makes you sick, because your body holds on to it and it internalizes it into a different way. And we often find ourselves in that trauma, in that hurt, in that distractions, um, that distracts us, that distracts us from actually what we're trying to do, as far as having healthy relationships, building healthy relationships, doing team building skills. You actually lose those momentums because you actually find ways to reject a person. You find ways to sabotage the situation. Convince yourself it's okay to struggle alone, when none of us is meant to be alone. We look for the betrayal before we look for the good in people. We see this all the time. You can look at any celebrity right now on the TV, and you can see they might get some glory, but people look for the fault in everyone. They don't look for your glory. They don't look for ways how they can help you or how they can improve you. This world is built on criticism. So it's really, how do you protect yourself from being so reactive to that criticism? Because it's coming. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sitting in this room with so much sun today. I'm just like, wow, it's so beautiful, but very hard to see, right? But yeah, today I just wanted to make sure I touch bases with you guys and just ask yourself, how are you doing with your feelings versus your reactions? Are you able to compose yourself when your feelings arise, whether it's joy, anger, sadness, or are you more reactive? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Are you more of a reactive person or more of just in your feelings? And um, if you're willing, just tell different ways on how you decided to um, react to a situation, not react to a situation. Yeah, let's put it in there. Let others see. Again, it is your girl Latricia just checking in with a quick message to just let you know that we got to be mindful over this next 21 days of just different things that will arise throughout our life, especially if anybody's going through a big shift or a big change in life right now. It's so critical that we do check our own emotions, our own feelings, and also know how to process and work through them, because it is going to be a lot of things over these next few months that is going to, what my daughter called, rage bait you. Okay. And you are going to have to be attentive to yourself, give yourself grace, know how to nourish yourself. Also give yourself that time to be pampered by yourself, because sometimes nobody might not be there, and that'll be you. And that's another feeling of loneliness, and how you react to that loneliness is gonna also be something that you're going to have to be mindful of. Again, it's your girl Latricia. My description and everything is below. I would like it if you will like, comment, and share the video. And until next time, I will be checking back in with you guys. Have a blessed day.